Have you ever been in a situation where someone is so angry or aggressive that it feels overwhelming? Maybe they're yelling, criticizing, or just being difficult, and you don't know how to respond. Most of us instinctively either fight back or shut down, but neither of these reactions really helps. What if there was a better way? What if you could calmly handle the situation, keep your confidence, and even leave the other person feeling a bit embarrassed about their behavior? In this video, I'll show you 6 simple verbal tricks you can use to deal with aggressive people effectively. These aren't complicated techniques. They're practical, easy-to-remember strategies that you can use in real life. From staying calm under pressure to using clever responses that make the other person stop and think, you'll learn how to turn a heated moment into an opportunity to take control. The best part? These tricks don't just help you protect yourself. They also encourage the other person to reflect on their actions. They'll leave feeling regretful about how they treated you. Whether it's a loud coworker, a pushy friend, or even a stranger, you'll be equipped to handle any aggressive situation like a pro. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have 6 powerful tools to handle aggression with confidence and composure. Let's get started. Trick 1. The calm echo. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to handle an aggressive person is by using the calm echo. It's a technique where you calmly repeat the main point of what they're saying. When someone is angry, they're often not looking for a solution, they want to feel heard. By repeating their words, you show them you're listening without escalating the situation. For example, let's say someone is yelling, "You're always late. You don't care about anyone else." Instead of getting defensive or shouting back, take a breath and calmly respond, "I hear you're upset because I was late, and it made you feel like I don't care." Notice how this doesn't add any fuel to the fire. You're not arguing or justifying yourself. You're simply acknowledging their emotions. Why does this work? Anger is often fueled by a sense of being ignored or misunderstood. When you reflect their words back to them, it acts like a mirror. They see their own emotions laid out in front of them, which can help them process what they're feeling. It also disarms them because they're expecting a fight, but instead you're showing empathy and calmness. Another key part of this technique is to maintain a steady and calm tone. Your voice should not match their anger, but rather stay neutral and composed. Think of yourself as a steady rock in the middle of a storm. No matter how strong their emotions get, you stay grounded. This calm energy often influences the other person to start calming down too. However, using the calm echo doesn't mean you're agreeing with them or admitting guilt. You're simply acknowledging their emotions. This is important because when people feel heard, they're more likely to lower their defenses. Once they've calmed down, the conversation can move towards a more constructive discussion. Let's be honest. It's not easy to stay calm when someone is yelling or being aggressive, but this trick is a skill you can practice. Start with small disagreements in your daily life. When someone expresses frustration, repeat back their main point in a calm tone. Over time, it will become a natural response. The calm echo is like a secret weapon in your communication toolbox. It helps you stay in control of the situation and prevents arguments from spiraling out of control. Most importantly, it shows the other person that you value their perspective, which can make them regret their aggressive approach. Give it a try next time you're faced with conflict, and see how powerful this simple trick can be. Trick 2. The unexpected compliment. When someone is angry or acting aggressively, the last thing they expect is kindness. This is why giving an unexpected compliment can be such a powerful tool. When a person is shouting, blaming, or being rude, they're often caught in a cycle of negative emotions. Their aggression feeds on conflict. But a compliment? That's like hitting the pause button on their anger. It's so surprising that it forces them to stop and think. Here's how it works. Imagine someone tells you, "Your ideas are always terrible." Instead of firing back or defending yourself, you respond with something like, "You've got a strong perspective. I admire how confident you are in sharing your thoughts." This instantly changes the tone of the conversation. The person might be too shocked to continue their rant or even start to feel a bit guilty about how they're treating you. Why does this work? Compliments appeal to the emotional side of the brain. They make people feel seen and valued, even when they're not being their best selves. When someone hears a genuine compliment during an argument, it activates their ego in a positive way. Suddenly, they're no longer in attack mode. Instead, they might soften their tone or, at the very least, take a step back to process what just happened. It's important to keep the compliment sincere. Don't exaggerate or say something that feels fake. It could make things worse. Look for something real that you can highlight. Even in a heated moment, most people have something positive you can focus on. Could be their passion, their honesty, or even their ability to speak their mind. For example, if someone's being aggressive about a disagreement at work, you might say, "I can see you really care about this project." That level of dedication is impressive. Using this trick doesn't mean you're letting them off the hook for bad behavior. Instead, you're taking control of the situation by shifting the energy in a constructive way. You're showing them that anger won't provoke you, but kindness might disarm them. The next time someone lashes out, try offering a calm, sincere compliment. You might be surprised at how quickly it can change the mood. Instead of escalating the situation, you'll leave the other person questioning their actions, and maybe even feeling a little regret. Trick 3. Ask a clarifying question. When someone is being aggressive, they often speak from emotion, not logic. They might make sweeping statements or accusations that aren't entirely fair or true. In these moments, one of the best things you can do is ask a simple, calm, and thoughtful clarifying question. This technique is powerful because it forces the person to pause, reflect, and think more carefully about what they're saying. When you ask a question, you're doing a few important things. First, you're showing that you're not immediately reacting to their anger. You're not matching their energy, which can help to de-escalate the situation. Second, you're making them slow down and reconsider their words. Often, when people are upset, they don't think through what they're saying, and a well-placed question can make them realize that their words are coming from a place of emotion, not reason. For example, let's say someone is yelling at you because they believe you've done something wrong. They might say, "This is all your fault. Why can't you ever get it right?" Instead of responding defensively or matching their anger, you could calmly ask, "Can you explain exactly what I did wrong? I want to understand so I can fix it." By asking this question, you're not denying their feelings, but you're shifting the conversation from emotional outbursts to more rational thinking. The other person may start to realize that their frustration is based on assumptions, or they may struggle to back up their accusation when they're forced to explain it clearly. This can immediately diffuse the tension because they can no longer just shout without thinking. They have to put their feelings into words and logic, which often leads to a clearer perspective. Another example might be if someone accuses you of being disrespectful. "You never listen to me. You don't care about my opinion." Instead of arguing with them or getting defensive, you might say, "I hear that you feel I'm not listening. Can you tell me what I said or did that made you feel that way?" This response shows that you're taking their feelings seriously, but also that you want to address the situation in a calm and constructive way. Asking a clarifying question like this also gives you time to think. It puts the onus on the other person to explain themselves, which can prevent you from saying something impulsive or reactive. It's a technique that not only calms the situation but helps guide the conversation toward resolution, rather than escalation. So next time you're faced with aggression, try using a clarifying question. You might be surprised at how quickly it makes the other person reconsider their anger and brings the conversation back to a more respectful tone. Trick 4. Silent neutrality. Sometimes, the best way to handle an aggressive person is by saying nothing at all. It might sound strange, but silence can be incredibly powerful in these situations. When someone is yelling or ranting, they're often expecting you to argue back, get defensive, or even yell louder. But when you stay completely silent and maintain calm eye contact, it throws them off balance. They're used to feeding off your emotional response, but when they get nothing, it forces them to reconsider their approach. Let's say you're in a heated argument with someone who's clearly angry. They're raising their voice, maybe even using hurtful words. Now, instead of reacting by shouting back or trying to explain yourself, you simply stay quiet. Look at them with a neutral expression, and don't say a word. This might feel awkward at first, but trust me, it's a game changer. The silence creates space for them to process their emotions and realize that they're not getting the reaction they were hoping for. Why does this work? Well, anger often comes from a place of frustration, and an angry person usually wants to release that frustration by getting a reaction out of you. When you don't give them that, it creates a moment of pause. They might begin to feel self-conscious or awkward about their outburst. It's a subtle way of showing that you're not rattled by their aggression, which can cause them to reconsider their behavior. Another benefit of silent neutrality is that it helps you stay in control. Aggressive people often try to provoke an emotional reaction, but when you refuse to engage emotionally, you take away their power. By not feeding into their anger, you maintain your composure and prevent the situation from escalating further. In a way, it's like holding up a mirror to their behavior. Your silence acts as a reflection, showing them how their aggression isn't having the effect they want. Of course, this doesn't mean you should always remain silent in every situation. Sometimes a calm and measured response is needed. But when dealing with pure aggression, especially from someone who isn't interested in having a reasonable conversation, silence can be the most effective way to de-escalate the situation. It's a non-verbal way of setting boundaries without saying a word. In the end, this trick is about staying centered and not allowing someone else's anger to dictate your emotions or actions. By practicing silent neutrality, you give yourself the space to remain calm, and you might even make the aggressive person realize that their behavior was out of line. Trick 5. The power of agreement. One of the most surprising ways to handle an aggressive person is by simply agreeing with them. Yes, you heard that right. When someone is shouting at you or criticizing you harshly, agreeing with what they say can completely disarm them. It might sound counterintuitive, but it works because it catches the aggressor off guard and puts them in a position where they have nothing left to argue about. Let's break this down. When an aggressive person is upset, they often expect a fight. They want you to push back, to defend yourself, and to match their anger. But when you agree with them, even if what they're saying is exaggerated or not entirely true, it takes away the power of their anger. This doesn't mean you're admitting you're always wrong or accepting blame where it isn't due, but it shows that you're not willing to engage in a heated battle. For example, if someone is yelling at you, saying, "You always mess things up," instead of arguing, try saying, "You're right. I mess up sometimes, just like everyone else." By agreeing with them in a calm and measured way, you're not giving them the argument they were hoping for. You're also subtly pointing out that everyone makes mistakes, including them. This simple technique works because when you agree with someone's exaggerated point, it often makes them realize how unreasonable they sound. Aggressive people expect you to fight back with even more anger or excuses. But when you don't fight, when you calmly agree, you neutralize their aggression. The conversation suddenly loses its heat, and they're left wondering why you didn't react the way they expected. It makes them question their own behavior. Moreover, agreeing with them in this way doesn't mean you're agreeing to everything they say. It's more about accepting the emotions behind their words without getting sucked into a confrontation. You're showing them that their anger doesn't control you. In fact, your calm response might even make them start to feel a little bit of regret. They'll realize that their aggression isn't having the desired effect and may begin to back off. This technique works especially well in high-pressure situations where emotions are running wild. By using agreement to de-escalate the situation, you avoid making things worse. And in the end, the aggressive person will feel less empowered, and you'll walk away with your dignity and calm intact. Remember, the goal isn't to admit fault unnecessarily, but to defuse the situation quickly. It's a simple, yet incredibly effective tool for managing aggression without contributing to it. Trick 6. State a fact with calm certainty. When someone is being aggressive, sometimes the best way to handle the situation is by stating a simple fact with calm certainty. This approach is powerful because it shifts the focus from emotions and accusations to a neutral point that both parties can agree on. Instead of matching their intensity or trying to argue back, you remain composed and respond with a clear, factual statement. This helps to ground the conversation and can disarm the aggressor, making it harder for them to continue with their emotional outburst. For example, let's say someone angrily accuses you of not listening to them. Instead of getting defensive or trying to explain yourself right away, you could calmly say something like, "I hear you saying that I haven't been listening, but let me tell you what I understand so far." By responding this way, you're not arguing with their feelings or telling them they're wrong. Instead, You acknowledge their perspective and offer to share your side of the story in a calm, logical manner. This puts the conversation back on track and forces the other person to listen to you, instead of just continuing to rant. The key here is to remain calm and avoid getting pulled into the emotion of the situation. When you respond with facts and calmness, it helps to reduce the aggression around you. Aggressors often want to control the conversation with their anger, but when you remain steady and offer a neutral fact, it shifts the power dynamic. The aggressor is left without a reason to escalate further because you're not reacting emotionally. Instead, you're giving a thoughtful, measured response that reflects confidence and control. It's important to remember that this technique works best when you stay calm and firm. The aggressor might try to provoke you further, but sticking to the facts helps to avoid getting caught up in the heat of the moment. Even if they continue to be upset, the act of responding with clarity and certainty makes it harder for them to continue the attack. It almost always forces them to pause and think, which is exactly what you want when dealing with aggression. In summary, stating a fact with calm certainty is an incredibly effective way to defuse a tense situation. It shows that you are confident, in control, and not easily swayed by emotional outbursts. By responding this way, you demonstrate that you value logic and clear communication, which can leave the other person feeling unsure about continuing their aggressive behavior. Try this the next time someone gets aggressive with you. It could completely change the outcome of the conversation. In conclusion, dealing with an aggressive person doesn't have to be a stressful or confrontational experience. By using these 6 simple verbal tricks, you can stay calm, avoid escalating the situation, and even leave the person feeling regretful for their aggressive behavior. Whether it's using the calm echo to show understanding, offering an unexpected compliment to throw them off, or simply asking a clarifying question to shift their focus, these techniques all work to disarm aggression without confrontation. The power of silence or calmly agreeing with their exaggerated point can also have a huge impact in diffusing tension. Remember, the key is to stay composed and in control of your emotions. When you respond with confidence and clarity, you not only protect yourself but also make the other person reconsider their actions. In the end, you can turn a negative encounter into a moment of growth for both parties. If you found these tricks helpful, let me know which one you're going to try first in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any experiences you've had with handling aggression in a calm way. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you, and subscribe for more practical Stoic advice on living a more peaceful and controlled life. Share this video with friends or family who might also benefit from learning how to handle tough situations with ease. Thanks for watching, and stay calm out there.